This segment of Hak5 is brought to you by T-Mobile and the Samsung Galaxy S3.
So I take it you heard about what happened with Facebook.
Yes, I did. Their email fiasco?
Yeah, let's just call it the email fiasco. And I'm sure everybody watching is familiar with the matter at this point, but I was just kind of wondering, you know, what's your take on it?
Personally?
Yeah.
I heard about the news pretty early on, so I was just like, oh, they changed my email, I'll just change it back. And it didn't really matter because my first one was private anyway. So nobody can email me anyway via Facebook.
Did you have like other people whose contact books or address books were updated?
No.
Emailing your Facebook address?
I've never synced my Facebook contacts ever, and that's the reason why. Is because I didn't want Facebook updating random crap that I would be unbeknownst to me. So, you know, with my iOS contacts, I'm organized enough that I just updated everything myself when I first got my first iPhone. I just kept it like that.
You know, and I feel the same way about like Android contacts. When I installed Facebook, I absolutely did not let it do that. But then, you know, at the same time, what is it? Gmail. In fact, I believe it was default behavior when I first started using Gmail that if you have a conversation with somebody, it would automatically add them to your address book. And I didn't think anything of it until like 5 years later. I couldn't add a contact, and I'm like, why can't I not add a contact?
Were your contacts full?
Yes. There's a limit of 10,000 contacts, and I had hit it.
Oh my god.
I mean, we get a lot of emails, right?
Yeah, we do. Like feedback emails.
So I had a problem where, like, one of my first Android phones, I was like, why is this going so slowly every time I pull up contacts? And I realize I'm like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and it's going forever, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So it synced everything, and I had to spend like an afternoon basically going through by hand, removing stuff one by one, and it was kind of a pain.
Yeah, so basically what I got out of the Facebook email fiasco was that Facebook just changed everything over to @facebook.com.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew because they didn't put out any kind of information about it. Apparently this was known in April.
Well,
apparently they mentioned something in April,
sure,
but really? Do you really think people are going to, you know, remember that until July of this year? No. Of course not.
Well, the way that I feel is it's not the onus on the user to choose whether they should or should not like sync contacts. I don't, you know, changing somebody's email on file and then going and pushing that to anybody else who has contact sync. I don't know. It's like it seems like a move of desperation. I don't know.
Really?
Well, yeah. It's like, why else would you do that?
I don't see why Facebook needs to do that. I mean, they're the largest social network.
Can they just be like what they are and not try to be your email too?
Yeah, no kidding.
That's the thing. It's I don't like. What if I don't want it to be my chat? Don't want it to be my email. I just want it to be a wall.
But you know what Facebook said? They said, "Oh, it was." They pulled an Apple.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, it's because the users are confused."
Yeah, the users are confused about where we're putting the email that we're taking from them.
Yeah, I was like, really?
If this happened on like a Windows box 10 years ago, like well, here's the thing. It sounds like if you just change some of the names, it totally sounds like a hijacked Outlook virus from the late 90s or something. You know,
well, that's basically what they did.
We're harvesting your address book. You know, like
they hijacked it.
Yeah. I think Violet Blue has the best write-up on it on CNET, so we'll have to link to that in the show notes.
Yes.
this isn't bad. And I'm thinking from now on, like whenever we go camping or backpacking, bring one of these. It's not awkward at all. That's what you need when you go camping. Signal. Yeah, see, you know, this is a much better situation now. Paul Tobias, Hak5 gear schlepper, and camera guy, and studio engineer, and editor, and encoding specialist, and bald guy. Not bad, huh? Alright, check it out. I've turned on the interface. I've got a Alpha AWUS036 NHA connected to Backtrack 5 Linux laptop here. And I just used IW to scan and then grep for SSIDs. And what's funny is, okay, yes, I do see my pineapple, as well as a Linksys and some other stuff. That's always fun. And if I do IW config my interface ESSID pineapple, I'll go ahead and associate. Let me run IW config. And you can see I am in fact associated. Here's my MAC, here's my signal level, link quality. And let's go ahead and DHCP get ourselves an IP address. And boom, there you go, 172.1642.166. I got an IP address. And from here, I should even be able to, you know, ping it, or actually what I did is I put together a script, signal.sh, which goes through IW config and then greps out the signal, and then it does that every second, and you can see I've got a consistent 70 out of 70 quality, negative 30 dBm, and if I actually tilt this antenna some, I'll see as that drops off, suddenly I've got negative 62, negative 63, and the link quality is diminishing greatly. So you can see how very directional this parabolic antenna is. Not bad for a first test shot with the parabolic units. I mean, pretty easy. It's a third of a mile, line of sight, right to Shannon, great conditions, and you know, these are really, really simple to aim, and they're also really high gain. And so we're probably used to working with like Yagi antennas when it comes to directional. Obviously, the benefit of these is that you have like a much smaller form factor. And it's not difficult to haul up a mountain 2,571 feet. But, regardless, we were able to get a site-to-site. Now, I was taking a look at some of the actual patterns here of these two different types of antennas, and I thought I would just kind of mention how, we've talked briefly about Yagi antennas in the past. This particular one has a 50-degree beam width. And so you can see here, this is what the network diagram looks like, and how what you do is you take between -3 and -10, and you see this width here of this shape here. And if you just take this, it's between 335 degrees and 25 degrees over there. That right there is about 50-degree beam width. So I wouldn't, with this antenna, have to be actually all that accurate. I could move it around just a little bit. As long as I'm in the general direction, I can sight it pretty well. The parabolic antenna, it's actually a lot thinner. In fact, the beam width on this particular unit is more like 10 degrees. So it makes a huge difference when you're off every little bit. And it's really the same concept of what might be on your roof, a satellite dish pointed at the sky. A dish antenna is a parabolic antenna. They can be huge. In Puerto Rico, there's like this massive one you may have seen at the end of that 007 movie GoldenEye. And they can also be very precise, down to like 1/10 of a degree. So I don't know. I think this was a pretty good test. I've got great signal, and I can even SCP files over, which is pretty cool. Otherwise, if it was pretty poor link quality, I could probably even still get a consistent file transfer if I used rsync to take care of partials. Hey, Bo. We hacked a mountain.
Yeah.
Hey, Shannon.
Hey Darren, what's up?
So, turn on your Wi-Fi direct. I want to send you a photo from up here.
Okay.
Alright, cool. We're connected. So now I'm just going to take a photo of Paul here.
Oh, that's cute. Hi, Paul.
I know. Isn't that so cool? Alright, we'll be down in a bit. See you soon. So Shannon, have you read the ICS cert?
That's about how to make ice cream sandwich certifications.
No.
ICS? Ice cream sandwiches?
It's the Industrial Control System Cyber Emergency Response Team Control System Security Program.
Does not sound exciting at all.
It's a Department of Homeland Security incident response report that they're doing now.
Ugh.
They've been doing it since 2009, and this is the latest. This is from 2011, and you can totally see, Paul, check this out. 09, 2010, 2011. And so these are like tickets and on-site like incident reports. It looks at first glance like, holy crap, you know, the nation's
like,
getting
it's
hacked,
crazy and
right?
crazy, yeah.
Nah, it just means that like these first 2 years, I don't even know if they knew how to do incident response. But
Nobody was even reporting it.
yeah.
Okay.
But what's interesting is that, you know, before the breakdown looked like within the industries, that it was energy and water. It looks like it's mostly energy, a little bit of water, and what's really fascinating here is to read the government's incident response reports on like the different municipal and those other utilities things that keep this nation going. And SSH brute force scans and attacks are at the top of the list of some of these reports.
Oh my gosh.
and it's like, that's the stuff
is
that's
that
like
surprising though?
no, not at all, because that's the thing, is like, if you've got port 22 open, in fact, you could even, literally, you could open Netcat on port 22 and just listen, and you would have a bot connect to you in 5 minutes that's trying to query you. And you're not even an SSH server, you're just, you know, listening on port 22.
Right.
Because those bots are just constantly trying to brute force. And I remember back when I even administered a Windows box that had SSH, looking through logs, and it would just be like root, password, root, tor, root, God, love, secret, sex, everything else.
Yeah. All the obvious ones.
Yeah. And then the other interesting thing that I found here, aside from the SSH, was that spear phishing accounted for 7 out of 17 incidents. So it's pretty high, and only one though, at least one incident infection from removable USB device.
Of course.
Which is,
well, it sounds like these people
I wonder
just
if they were
aren't...
using the switchblade or the ducky.
Yeah,
I know, right?
It sounds like they're just not securing their facilities. They're not training their people to understand security like they should.
They say that in 12 of the 17 cases, implementation of security recommended practices, you know, such as login limitations, segmenting networks, firewalls, and that, could have significantly reduced the time to detect the attack, or at least reduce the impact of the incident. So it's like, you know, all of those archaic systems that, I mean, you think your IT shop is bad. Can you imagine what it must be like at like some power plant where some system was custom developed back in the 80s, you know, and nobody wants to touch it because they don't want it to stop working? Anyway, so that was a fascinating read. There's a whole bunch of other good tidbits in here. So if you're interested in seeing like what the government will, or how they're spinning it, you can check that out in the show notes. It's the ICS cert.
I found out something interesting, and it kind of goes along since we've been playing with the Samsung Galaxy S3. ACLU, you're familiar with that, right?
Yeah, the ACLU.
Yeah, so they created this new application called Police Tape, and it's for if you're going to like a protest or you see a police person, you know, tasing somebody and you don't think it's right, and you want to record them, it gives you legal information as well as lets you record in secret.
Okay.
So it'll take down the application, so it'll just show your home
So
screen
you
while
open
you're
the
recording.
application and then it disappears?
Yeah, as soon as you hit record, it disappears into the background, so you're recording. But if you show the policeman your camera, or your phone, they won't think otherwise because they just see a home screen.
Yeah.
Personally, I think you're still going to have the same issue because you're still going to be holding up your phone. Unless you like have it in your pocket or something.
Yeah, well,
they're gonna notice that you're holding a phone.
I think the novel thing about this is, I mean, there have been apps where you can like record in the background or something like that. And I think what's novel about this is that it has the ability to submit your findings, to submit your audio, video, photos to the ACLU.
So you have a backup in case they seize your property.
Now, I think before anybody runs out there and starts doing this and recording, you know, public officials, police officers in the public, you know, serving the public.
Which is legal.
It depends. You know, there's a lot of caveats to that. For example, if like the cops are out here doing an investigation and there was literally a police tape, like they had a police line out and they're like doing the chalks and, you know, chalking the ground, investigating and stuff. Because that is not a place that has a reasonable expectation of privacy. They're forbidding you from going into that area. And so there's a whole bunch of caveats. And I just want to I think it's fascinating and I think it's great and it empowers people. But it's really important to understand that while it's getting a lot of news right now, that's coming out of the ACLU New Jersey, which has different laws than other states. And then of course, you know, abroad it could be quite different. So I always, you know, I don't feel like you should just not do anything as a citizen, just like, you know, be like, oh, this is hard.
Just
let's
ignore
not
it and walk away.
But, you know, it's important to learn the facts about your...
Yeah, I agree. So it is nice about this application that it does come with legal information for, you know, different states and how you can record a police person, you know, legally. But unfortunately, it's only for Android right now.
Oh, it's coming to iOS.
Not iOS.
It's coming to
Not
iOS.
quite yet.
In fact, I'd love to hear what you guys think on the matter. There was a great discussion going on in Google Plus earlier about this, and I'd love to hear you guys chime in. What you guys think about, you know, surveillance in general or surveillance of the man. So speaking of surveillance, Cisco, I guess all of you have probably seen this by now, but Cisco, who owns Linksys, who makes the home router for everybody and their grandma. Well, no hackers would, but you know, unless it's a open WRT or DDWRT based NSLU or not NSLU2, the help me out, Paul, the WRT54G. But Cisco, get this, they push this firmware update, push it to you, even if you've got the checkbox that says, hey, bro, don't automatically update. And it's this new firmware locks you out of the ability to change or manage your home router. And it comes with, and when you go to sign up for their cloud service that this now has, it gives you this license agreement. This, you know, they're like, you know, there's like, I don't know, there's like the Constitution, there's like laws, and then there's end user license agreements. And
nobody ever reads
well, the terms of service for this grant Cisco the ability to shut down your connection if they see you using it for obscene, pornographic, or offensive purposes to infringe another's rights, including but not limited to any intellectual property rights, or to violate or encourage any conduct that would violate any applicable law or regulations or give rise to civil or criminal liability. Since when are you the police, Cisco?
Yeah,
dude, you sell a product.
Sounds like they're just helping out the ISPs.
Oh yeah, they're just helping out the feds. They're just helping out the RIAA, the MPAA. It's like, you know, we're like laws have like, you know, due process and all these other things, and user license agreements. It's just like you write whatever you want, and they even, you know, there was actually an update from Cisco. A Cisco rep pointed out that like, hey, they've made some changes to the privacy policy, but it still says that they can disconnect you at any time, and it says that they can change the terms of the license agreement at any given time.
So it's still a pointless update.
It kind of is. So the way I'm feeling about it is, you know, thankfully it's not like you were born into Cisco and you're governed by Cisco's regulations or anything. You just happen to have bought a product, and if you didn't root it, you don't own it. So in this case, if you do own it and you're not happy with it, You don't have to sign the license agreement. You don't have to let the man spy on you. You can take your router and smash it to bits and send it to 150 West Tasman Drive, San Jose, California, 95134, because that's what I'll be doing. You know?
I'm assuming that's the Cisco headquarters.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it's not like they're going to deport you.
Yeah.
You know? Thankfully, you can vote with your wallet. You can make those
buy a
decisions.
different
And
router.
it's just, I don't know. There's a great write-up on Boing Boing by Cory Doctorow. You guys should check that out as well. I know that was a little bit heavy here with the Department of Homeland Security and Cisco and the ACLU, but it was fun to kind of get out here and start talking about some stuff that we don't normally get into. And
we kind of had a chill Friday, you know. There's beer downstairs. I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some German food and, you know, hanging out.
That sounds delicious. I'm really hungry too.
Yeah. So if you guys have any thoughts on the stuff that we've talked about, we've got great discussions going on in the Hak5 forums. We'd love to hear from you personally. Feedback at hak5.org. And I also
check out the Hack Shop too.
Oh yeah, the Hack Shop at
hakshop.com, and we have the new Wi-Fi Pineapple Elite Pack on there, which is really nice. Check it out.
And I also want to thank T-Mobile for hooking us up with the Galaxy S3. These things are wicked. We've been playing with a lot of fun Android phones recently, and we just want to thank T-Mobile for letting us do that, because it empowers you to do things that you might not have imagined. The HD cameras are wicked, so they want to let you guys know that if you head over to this URL, you can learn more, and you can maybe even win a phone or other Samsung products by getting in on their Spin to Win contest. So thank you so much,
Nice.
T-Mobile.
Yes, thank you, T-Mobile. Really like this one. Love this.
Hey, all right. Well, with all that said, we will see you guys back in studio next week. Also, stay tuned for some wicked hack tips from Shannon here coming up.
Yeah, dude, Linux 101.
Yeah, and even
really
more,
had a lot of fun with that.
even more goodness coming up with that. All right. Well, with all that said, I'm Darren Kitchen.
I'm Shannon Morse.
Trust your technologists.
Trust your